Welcome to Wealth Wisdom. If you have ambitions to achieve financial success, please leave yes in the comment, and we are here to help you obtain insight and build wealth. The book we are going to share today is Choose Your Enemies Wisely by Patrick Bet-David. Integrate passion and logic to achieve greatness. Do you have what it takes to be among the audacious few who achieve wildly ambitious goals? If you have a burning desire to reach the highest levels of business and entrepreneurship, but haven't gotten there yet, you might be missing a critical ingredient, the right enemy. In this sharing, we'll look at how having the right opponent can fuel your journey to the top. We'll also explore some of the core components that you need to include in your broader business plan, if you want to achieve wild success. Before we continue, if you are interested in this topic, please consider subscribing and give us a thumb up. Let's continue. Turning pain into purpose. How can you turn a painful experience into the fire you need to succeed? Entrepreneur Patrick Bet-David believes that one intensely humiliating moment became his personal catalyst for success. At age 24, he was lost, spending his nights rotating between LA nightclubs with nothing to show for it. His family had emigrated from Iran when he was a child, leaving prestige and affluence behind to escape the conflict of the revolution. Bet-David's father had been an accomplished chemist in Iran, but in America, he worked a dead-end, low-status retail job. Christmas Eve in 2002 marked a turning point for Bet-David, when he joined his father for a holiday party. There, a family friend made a joke at his father's expense, describing him as the twice-divorced, but still a lone dollar store cashier, who was once a brilliant chemist. Bet-David watched his father force an awkward laugh, as he tried to brush off the painful comment. Seeing his father humiliated ignited an intense fury inside Bet-David. He confronted the family friend, ushered his father out of the party, and continued raging for the entire ride home. He ranted that no one should ever disrespect his father after all he had endured. His father, still stinging, angrily chastised his son's public outburst. But Bet-David wouldn't calm down. Over and over again, he kept repeating how he was going to show the world. He was going to get respect for the family. Back home in their modest apartment, he insisted that one day the name Bet-David would be known and honored worldwide. His father was stunned. That night, his father's shame became Bet-David's raison d'être. It taught him two vital lessons: first, the importance of choosing your enemies wisely, and second, that the greatest motivation arises from fighting for others, rather than yourself. Looking back, he realized that this incident was exactly the spark he needed to change his life. Combined with his father's declining health, it gave him a sense of fierce purpose when he felt most adrift. In the years that followed, Bet-David hustled relentlessly to build a successful insurance business, growing it to thousands of employees, all culminating in a 9-figure exit. Bet-David had turned his family's pain into a phenomenal success. And with a solid plan behind you, you can do the same. In the sections ahead, we'll look at how, where reason meets inspiration. What's more important, logic or emotion? Well, in business, both are vital. While any successful plan requires sound analysis, logic on its own fails to inspire. Passion and emotion are what drive people to act. To be truly effective, leaders, teams, and organizations must integrate both logic and emotion. And the best way to do this is to explicitly include them as elements of your business plan. A model like this is created with various building blocks, with each building block grouped into pairs. In each pair, one block represents the logical aspect of a given issue, and the other represents its emotional aspect. Logical blocks focus on strategy and execution, while emotional blocks are designed to motivate. If you and your team can master both the logical and emotional aspects of your plan, you can elevate your business to heights reserved for the select few, those brilliant business people and entrepreneurs who tenaciously pursue ambitious goals and achieve them. This unique framework of pairing logic with emotion explains why well-known business partnerships succeed. For instance, historical business duos like Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, or Bill Gates and Paul Allen, balanced each other out, with one partner focused on the emotional, visionary, and big picture, while the other specialized in analysis, methodical planning, or technical skill. So, now that you've learned about the framework of wild success, let's turn our attention to some of those core building blocks. The first pairing we'll examine is enemy and competition. Defining your enemy. Competition may bring out the best in us, but having a worthy opponent, someone we view as an enemy, takes our drive to the next level. But what's the distinction? Well, your competition is something impersonal and objective, while your enemy is highly personal and highly subjective. How you feel will help you determine whether or not you've identified your enemy. They'll be someone, or something, that angers or threatens you. Enemies drive us to work harder and smarter to prove them wrong. They fuel us emotionally in a way that mere competitors don't. Enemies give us a point to prove. When properly channeled and directed, they push us further than we imagined possible. So, who and what counts as an enemy? Anyone our ego says has slighted us. Those whose accomplishments intimidate or threaten us. Doubters who say we won't make it. Childhood bullies. Manipulative exes. Gossipy relatives. Businesses luring our customers away or beating us to market. Even our own limiting beliefs, complacency, and mediocrity. Whatever makes our blood boil. Name your foe and let them motivate you. The more anger they ignite in you, the more powerful a motivator they'll be. But how do you know who's the right enemy? It's the one who inspires action. A cocky sales leader publicly insults you. You vow to show him. You match his hours and relentlessly learn from your competitors. The right enemy drives you to develop skills years faster than you otherwise would have, so you can accelerate your progress. If the word enemy sounds serious, that's because it is. Don't choose your enemies casually. Petty grudges are just a waste of your energy. They'll distract you from taking action that will propel you towards your goals. Be prepared to reevaluate who your enemy is over time too. Those below you are unworthy opponents. Once you've surpassed a rival, continuing the fight will only feed your ego, not your growth. Know when to let old enemies go and identify ones that truly challenge you. You must choose and defeat stronger enemies over time, like a boxing champion, graduating to tougher and tougher contenders. When it comes to leadership, having a shared external enemy unites teams, banding them together in a common cause. However, things turn counterproductive if you allow internal teams to view each other as adversaries. Leaders should avoid fostering internal competition between teams and focus competition outwards. Just as emotion drives your effort, logic is there to guide your strategy. Once you've identified an inspiring enemy, move on to meticulously studying your competition, all of it. Don't stop at your direct competition either. How could indirect players also win business from you? Who's trying new technology or business models? What other threats exist or could exist? For instance, rising interest rates may not compete for sales directly, but they still limit consumer spending. Research competitors obsessively, on websites, social media, and sales calls. Take note of their weaknesses. If they try to poach your staff, this only shows you have talent that they lack, so fight even harder. Choosing worthy opponents and striving to surpass them forces us to rise to a higher standard, to become smarter, more skilled, and more strategic. Rivals expose our weaknesses and challenge us to improve what we may have let slide. In short, they drive us towards excellence. Ideally, the thrill is not just in beating your enemy. Rather, it's using the struggle to stretch yourself further and grow in positive ways. The true prize is your own transformation and evolution, identifying the what, why, and how. Now that you understand the value of enemies and competition, let's look at two more pairs of building blocks, will and skill, and mission and plan. We'll start with will and skill. Success requires fuel, both the emotional fire of determination and the technical skills to translate vision into reality. Willpower provides the relentless push to keep going when obstacles arise. It's that voice inside you that declares, "I will make this happen, no matter what." And skills supply the strategic know-how to turn this willpower into successful execution. Skills development is more methodical than simply summoning up grit from inside. Mastery is built through patient, incremental progress. To master a skill, take pauses to evaluate yourself and pinpoint your weaknesses. Then, identify a few priority areas to improve on, through study and practice. Ultimately, will and skill reinforce each other. When we intentionally work to gain new skills, it intensifies our willpower and determination. The effort we make in learning demonstrates our commitment to growth, fueling our internal motivation. As the skills themselves develop, we gain the confidence needed to pursue larger goals. These larger goals, in turn, drive ongoing effort and skill building. Will and skill create a virtuous cycle where determined practice sparks greater ambition, and greater ambition inspires more practice and improvement. This cycle repeats on all scales, over the course of projects, relationships, and careers, elevating individuals and organizations to previously unimaginable heights. Now, let's look at the mission and plan building blocks. The highest performing leaders are driven by an unwavering sense of purpose. This is what we mean by mission. Mission is the emotional core that gives meaning to all your plans and actions. To discover your mission, make time for self-reflection. Ask yourself, what cause do I want to champion? What fuels my fire? While the two concepts may seem similar, clarifying your mission must come before mapping out plans. After all, you can't plan a journey without a destination. A mission is what creates the motivation needed to achieve ambitious goals over the long term. It also attracts people who are loyal to your cause and want to change the world with you. To come up with a mission statement, begin by simply writing "I'm on a mission to," and then fill in the blank. For example, I'm on a mission to make healthcare more efficient. Next, add "because" and continue the sentence from there. Adding "because" is a powerful tool, since it forces you to search for reasons which are higher or more fundamental. For example, I'm on a mission to make healthcare more efficient because I'm dedicated to improving people's lives. Notice how much more powerful the second statement is. Say the mission statement out loud and notice how it makes you feel. If it doesn't seem quite right, go back and try again. Once you've established a mission statement that resonates emotionally, you can move towards planning. To do this, perform a SWOT analysis of your business, to identify its strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Strengths are existing competitive advantages that you should keep investing in, like proprietary technology, or a loyal customer base. Weaknesses are vulnerable spots like high turnover, aging facilities, or a lack of marketing expertise. These can be improved upon directly, or by bringing in outside help to shore up your gaps. Opportunities means favorable external conditions to potentially grow, like new target demographics, increased access to raw materials, or relaxed regulations. Explore opportunities thoroughly to identify new avenues or solutions. Threats refer to risky external factors, such as new competitors, substitute products, or cost increases. Make contingency plans to mitigate the impact of these. Building self-awareness in each of these four quadrants forms the basis of a powerful business plan. The key is leveraging what you're already good at, shoring up your vulnerabilities, and then scanning the environment to prepare for threats and capitalize on opportunities. With all of that in place, and supported by a foundation that combines logic with emotion, you're on track for success. Extraordinary success requires both clear understanding and a relentless emotional drive to persevere. The right enemies tap into our deepest motivations, fueling our passion as we master new capabilities and stretch beyond what we thought possible. With each new goal attained, new enemies emerge, challenging us to reach even greater heights. To drive a business towards that success, leaders must clearly articulate their mission, the higher purpose animating all their efforts and attracting talent which is loyal to the cause. Strategic planning guided by SWOT analysis then converts this mission into the basis of executable steps. Integrating emotion and logic into a business plan is what allows the audacious few to turn ambitious visions into thriving enterprises that change the world. By balancing these forces within ourselves and our organizations, we can achieve extraordinary outcomes again and again. That's the end of today's sharing. If you like our content, please give us a thumb up and share it with your friends. See you next time.